There are people dying.
If we care enough for the living.
Go on, keep singing.
No.
Anyways, I guess he figured out that I was live. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, you guys, I have to figure out a way to do this because I don't know. It's weird seeing like okay, let's just start.
You're really gonna say it?
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I was thinking it.
Hey, stay out of my thoughts.
Dirty.
Stay. You like it though. All right, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. And to be honest, you don't even have to be Piscean. If you find yourself on this video and really resonating with what I'm saying, then the message is for you as well. All right, so let me get the cards ready, Pisces. Can you do that later?
Yo.
Thank you. Who do you love? Who do you love? Say it loud, say it proud.
Love
Love you. Ooh, shizzle sticks. Ooh, that's like, ooh wee. Hey, Daddy. Daddy. Hold on, guys. All right.
you. It's limited, right?
What's limited? Here we go. Ooh. Oh, yikes. Pisces. I was hoping that the title, SHIAT, hitting the proverbial fan was just, soul being dramatic and nothing was hitting the fan. These cards are looking like stuff, a lot of stuff is hitting the fan. A lot of stuff. Thank you. Um, what deck? This deck. No, that's not the deck. It's this deck. All right. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. All right. Okay. So, oh, I thought I was done, but apparently I still have to pull more cards. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, here goes. Here goes. Okay. It's amazing how much your reach is restricted depending on what the title is. All right, here goes, guys. Thank you, Wicked Love Media. All right. So, card number 20, Scorpio, I transform. We're really going into the deep, dark aspects of the Piscean psyche. With Scorpio, there's a lot of depth there, a lot of quiet, a lot of things kept beneath the surface. And those things that are being kept beneath the surface are what's rising up right now. Put your ear down close to your soul and listen hard. Ooh, that's deep. Put your ear close to your soul and listen hard. Acknowledging desire and surrendering yourself to the depths will serve you best at this time. Let's see. It's about letting people feel your energy, not necessarily just talking and talking and talking, but allowing people to really feel the gravity of you as you enter a room, just allowing the energy of who you are to waft around and let others experience it. Um, excuse me. Let's see. So this card indicates you'll go through a period of deep self-analysis. You may seek out a professional, or you may work through this time alone by reading or through reflection. This is a death card. Death card in the tarot deck. It's about transformation, psychic ability, secrets, wins and losses, attractions, secret affairs. What? Card number 23, defend to the end the worthwhile. So, with this card, it's really time for you to choose yourself. Again, this is a recurring theme for Pisces. You have to choose yourself. You cannot make people into projects, okay? You cannot save someone from themselves. And so, what you have to do now is choose you. Allow yourself to be guided to wherever it is in your thoughts that you need to go. Allow your rebirth into a state of higher levels of knowing, higher levels of knowledge, allowing that knowledge to ripen into wisdom. All of these things are important right now because we're going to be, or we have been dealing with quite a bit of deception on so many different levels. We're being deceived as society. Uh, it seems like within our personal life, there is an elevated amount of deception as well. I wonder if we're not being honest with ourselves. I wonder if the dishonesty is from someone else or if it's from us. Okay, that's a very important thing to recognize. Where is the dishonesty really at? Is it something someone else is doing to you, or is it something that you're doing to yourself? And getting that answer is very important. It's a very important part of your growth. So, card number 21, fresh approach. It's time to take a pause. It's time for us to allow ourselves to maybe look at a circumstance in a different light. Um, all right. You have to take a new approach. Okay. See old circumstance in a different light. Pisces has a tendency to hold on with a death grip and bloody fingernails to the hurts that other people have done to us. Okay. We have a tendency to do this because um, in reality, it's hard for us to let people in. We only let a select few into our inner circle. And when you trust someone and they hurt you, um, it's very hard for Pisces to get past that. Very hard. Very, very, very hard. I think it might be harder for Pisces to get past it than maybe any other sign. It's just we're more silent about it. Okay. So, the scribe, this is again about knowledge, about really tapping into your knowing, about allowing your faith to ripen into gnosis. Um, Interesting. I'm being told a lot of the things that we're going to speak over the next few weeks, few months as Pisceans, um, it's going to contain with it a layer of truth that the people in our lives may or may not be ready to receive. This is definitely going to be a period that challenges Pisces and everyone around Pisces. Okay. Let's see. Card number 42. The word wants to be written. There you go. There's communication. Again, a communication. Unified astrology answered a question during my live stream last night. And he was talking about the eclipse that's coming up and how we're something about something about Gemini. Um, there's a lot of information that often goes over my head, but there was a very strong message of the need for communication, reunification, the need for soul siblings to be able to um, reassess the connection and all of these wonderfully healing things. But although it's wonderfully healing, it's also ridiculously challenging. So there's a lot of communication, multiple layers, levels of communication that are occurring right now. And these layers and levels of communication, oftentimes it's simply energetic, because there's a lot of things that are being reorganized within your energetic field, Pisces. There's a lot of things being reorganized, a lot of belief structures that are being I hear reconditioned. I don't know that I like that word, reconditioned, because that's what I heard. A lot of our belief structures are being reconditioned, and this reconditioning, it can put us into better shape, or if you want to see it in a more negative light, it's going to destroy you completely, completely destroy you. And that destroying opens the door for rebuilding. You can't rebuild something, refortify, if it's not destroyed, right? That's like trying to fix something that's not broken. Card number 46, Grand Trine Blessings. Ooh, let's see what this means. Okay, it's about harmony. It's with a Temperance card. Everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. So, ooh, ooh, okay, okay. So a trine, when only two planets aspect each other at 120 degrees, always inspire harmony in the skies. So there's a sense of wholeness and completion when a grand trine happens. I think what's happening right now is that the siblings, the soul siblings, you and another, are aspecting each other, and as that moment of reunification occurs, there's a third point that begins to exist. That's what the grand trine is for you. um be assured you're entering a time of easy flow, or that at least many of the impediments you are experiencing are being lifted. This speaks of a period of harmony and ease that may inspire you to take the path of least resistance. But it's best that you keep your eye on the prize and not let go of your original purpose. Do not leave it on a shelf. There's a possibility that your success may be lost if you do. So it's almost this sense of in the immediate future, you might feel, or you're already feeling, a calm, almost like a calm before the storm. Don't allow yourself to be fooled into becoming complacent with your internal work. Don't allow yourself to um, don't allow yourself to get to a place within yourself where you think you've already reached your goal, and therefore you don't have to keep diving deeper and deeper into yourself. Okay. uh let's see. For the person who keeps trying their energetic techniques on me, keeps trying to see if you can break my shield, you sure you want to keep trying that? Because I guarantee you're not going to break my shield, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to handle the way I react. Think real hard before you keep doing that. Okay. Think real hard. Think real hard. So here's the next card. Hold on. Seven of Air, spirituality, religion, politics, personal dogma, atheism, fundamentalism, indoctrination, and kindness. It's not what we believe, but how we believe. It's time to lift others up. Does what you believe make you kinder? Are you willing to lose another for your beliefs? There are many ways, not just your way. Educate, don't indoctrinate. Seek a kind approach. So it feels like what's being said with this card is that you have to really understand what it is that's going on within your life. Are you just believing things just to believe them? Are the things you believe uh, what you believe because it's what your truth is? Or is this just indoctrination? Are you allowing yourself to be convinced something ugly about yourself just because this is what people are saying? People who don't understand you, people who haven't taken the time to try and understand you, people who are not interested in understanding you. And on the flip side, are you willing to lose someone just because of your beliefs, because your beliefs are differing? Are you willing to throw away opportunities to connect, to learn, to grow just because you perceive that it's not something good, that it's not worth your time, it's not worth the trouble? uh I don't know. I don't know. Is it time for you to let that go, to let go of your loyalty to the very things that are keeping you enslaved within yourself, keeping you very much limited within your own mind? Card number 8, breakthrough. Sometimes it's in the breaking of a heart that you're open to receiving, that you're open to actually finally seeing. Okay. Sometimes it's in that moment. What are you going to do? Are you going to deny yourself that very elevated potentiality because you're afraid of the pain? It's time for us to have a breakthrough. It's really, really time for us to experience not just a fresh approach, but to allow that fresh approach to gift us a moment of breakthrough. That point where you allow yourself to transmute and transform. So let's see. Yes, Michael, you have my full permission. Very fascinating. Yes, Michael, as much force is necessary. So, card number 43, lunar eclipse, change. We're about to have an eclipse towards the end of the month, and that's going to usher in tremendous amounts of change. Be prepared, Pisces. Be very, very prepared for the very people who you thought would support you through this change. As you become a more authentic version of yourself, be prepared for those people to be the ones to turn on you, for them to be the ones to make you feel badly for being who you are, make you feel ashamed, make you feel as though you're a horrible person for no longer putting their needs before your own. A lot of shifting, a lot of darkness rising up, a lot of obscuring your own light is occurring. And with this eclipse, tremendous amounts of change are initiated. And whether we are cognitive of the change or not, whether we're consciously choosing that change or not, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen because you can't continue with the way you have indefinitely. Hold on. So, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. A lunar eclipse takes place when the earth is directly aligned between the sun and the moon. So you're being aligned. You're being placed in the dead center between your light and your darkness. This is an eclipsing of the soul. That's deep. Many of us have gotten to a place unknowingly. We have unknowingly allowed ourselves to be led to a place where we're existing in one area more than another. Instead of being centered between the light and the dark, we're either forcing ourselves to stay completely in the light or completely in the dark, and that's just not going to work. A rebalancing is occurring. Eclipses can bring on times which seem shadowy and disordered, but they are not necessarily bad and should not be viewed as such. We're meant to be thrown off balance to make necessary changes. It's a time of seeing the light and focusing on something you have either put off or didn't exactly notice was coming up. Okay, dramatic changes are in store, should be unexpected, may take some special effort. Um, Do not be alarmed because this altering of your life is essential in getting you where you need to be. Whatever the issue, it's been brewing for a while and things are about to bubble over. It could be a partner or a would be partner who wishes to take a relationship to a new level. Since the moon symbolizes our emotions, you probably already sense what this change should and will not be completely surprised by it. But the force and dramatic nature of the shift may be unexpected. Expect to be thrown off balance. If the situation is something you have taken for granted and it collapses, then you will need to make a new start. In any event, you should start to see these effects within the next 6 weeks and expect for an outcome to be completed within 6 months. Woo! That's intense. That's giving you an actual timeline. Ooh. In any event, you should start seeing these effects within the next 6 weeks and expect for an outcome to be completed within 6 months. This card also indicates cycles, and whatever seems lost at this time, you can be assured will return to you, perhaps in a different form, but most certainly better. Oh, what? This card, sorry. This card indicates cycles, and whatever seems lost at this time, you can be assured will return to you, perhaps in a different form, but most certainly better. Okay, okay. I can groove with that. Card number 9. What do you feel? What do you feel right now? Are you allowing yourself to be distracted? Are you comparing two completely different things? Are you existing as though this life is work? That's all it is. It's work. What if your work, what if your life's work is nothing but play and exploration? What if it's time for us to recognize our life's work was never meant to be um, indentured servant status, serfdom? Because that's kind of where we're existing right now, serfdom, where we're not actually able to own anything. Many of us live with credit card debt. And so even the clothes on your back are not actually yours, they're on loan. That's deep. That is like, whoa. Hold on, guys. My energy will always honor your sovereignty without permission from your highest self. Unless you're in violation of sovereign space, my energy will not enter your field. Give me 1 second. Michael has primed something for me. So, change is coming. You're being asked what you feel. Are you comparing apples and oranges? Are you resisting being naked in your truth, feeling like you have to keep your human uniform on because this life, this experience, this adventure is nothing more than just work? You know, is it just work, or is it somewhere where you can really explore yourself and have an adventure within yourself and outside of yourself? So card number 1, make a wish. I wish a motherfucker would. Is what I wish. We can turn this bitch into some fucking spiritual fight club. I like that shit. I like that shit. Keep testing me because I'm not scared. Keep testing me. So it's time for you to make a wish and use your breath to release those seeds of wishes and dreams out into the world. It is your breath that is necessary. You have to breathe into being the very changes that you want and you need. And you have to also use that breath to really, really empower yourself in your field. At no point, Pisces, I don't care how many people are watching, how afraid you are of people thinking badly of you. If someone wants some, serve that shit up hot. Serve that shit real fucking hot. Because Pisces, we have taken enough shit from people. It's not our fault that people are jealous that we exist. It is not our fault that people cannot tolerate the fact that we are good people, that we are loving, patient, and kind. You do not allow yourself to be messed with because you're afraid other people will think badly of you. Well, it's the people who are watching and allowing this shit to happen that are the bad people. Because lack of action in the face of tyranny, oppression, abuse is complicity in the ugly, ugly deed. It is complicity. And you have to make sure, really, really make sure that you value yourself enough to defend yourself if it's necessary. It's important. It's really important. A lot of the really good Pisceans are so afraid that people will see them and lump them in the same group as the crazy Pisceans. Okay, I'm not talking about mental illness. I'm talking about that group of people within that zodiac sign who share that same energy, who are unbalanced and enjoy creating drama for other people and hurting other people. If you're afraid of being put in that group, that means you're not a part of that group. The people who are in that group, they don't care. They don't care. They're not worried how other people will see them. They're too busy plotting new drama for other people, seeing how they can expand the drama they've already created. Don't worry about that anymore. Okay? Let people see you for who you are, someone who understands their value, someone who is experiencing elevated levels of self love, and someone who is strong enough to speak up and speak out. It's time for us to speak up and speak out because really, this like, I'm gonna keep fucking with a Pisces because Pisces just gonna take it. They're not gonna tell anyone. They're not gonna complain. They're just gonna take it. And it's real easy for me to make a Pisces feels like it's their fault. Nope. No more. No more. No more. And I bet you a lot of people are going to be pissed that I'm saying all of this in a live show. I don't give a shit because this is the truth. If you're not Piscean and this is rubbing you wrong, you probably doing some shit to a Pisces then. You probably pissed off because now I'm calling your shit out and you're not going to be able to get away with this shit because you've had the opportunity to do so much to other people, to Pisceans. Nope. Nope. No more. No more of that shit. Allow your knowledge to be your power. Tap into that knowledge. Pisceans, you are so capable of tapping into so, so much divine wisdom. So much divine wisdom. And that's what irritates other people. Many of the things that comes naturally to a Piscean, other people have to work really hard to achieve. really hard to grasp, really hard to excel at. That's not our fault. It's not our fault that you choose to continue to compare yourself to someone who you can't keep up with. That's not my fault. I'm just minding my own business in my own lane. You trying to race me. I'm not even looking over to the side. And now you mad because you crashed. Now you mad because you ran out of gas and you're stuck. That's not my fault. I'm just driving down my lane, all easy peasy. I'm not looking over at you. I'm paying attention to where I'm driving to. And if, as a Piscean, you're doing this and someone is trying to say it's your fault for things, because I don't know why Pisces gets blamed for a lot of shit. Pisces gets blamed for so much stuff. And oftentimes, it's really because Pisces doesn't speak up. We don't speak up when people are saying things that are um, malicious. We don't say anything to the person. We just kind of keep taking it because we don't want conflict. We don't want people to feel badly if we speak our truth. Well, then you're co creating it, Pisces. You are co creating it. And it's time for you to co create something that will make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. And just because you make yourself happy, it doesn't necessarily mean you're creating a happiness based on a price paid by other people. Mm-mm. No, you should be allowing yourself to freely experience who you are and not allow other people to just, bully you into compliance, bully you into silence. That's what's gotten you into a lot of circumstance, Pisceans, myself included. I've gotten myself into a lot of BS because I don't want to piss them off. I mean, I'm not scared that they're pissed off. I just don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to be the cause of drama. Sometimes Pisces, people are just going to use you to create drama, whether you want to or not. So you need to be more proactive and allow yourself to speak your truth a lot more. Does that mean you have to be on a soapbox, um, lecturing everybody? No, no. Mm-hmm. Hold on, guys. Ooh. Pisces is ready to receive. This is some shit. Wow. 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 Ah! No. Fucking A. Shit. Okay. 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 Here. No, 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 no. Okay. This is just going to be an explanation as to why we got to where we're at. So, Pisces, you are on a stage ready to receive the acknowledgement that you've basically been getting your whole life, but have been refusing to allow yourself to acknowledge. So you're being recognized. Um, and again, this reminds me of what someone told me once, that nothing brings more attention than a phoenix on the rise. There's going to be a lot of people who see Pisceans rising like a phoenix from her own ash and try and use you for target practice. You're not to be used for target practice. Okay, Pisces, there's going to be a lot of people who see a rising confidence, rising personal power, and they're going to want a piece of that. No, no to that too. You give of yourself to whoever and whatever your heart urges you to give to. You don't just give to everybody. And this is a very difficult lesson to learn, one that even I'm still struggling through. I'm making progress with it, but I'm still struggling through it, where there's a desire to just keep giving and giving and giving. And hey, oftentimes, until you actually do that internal work to get yourself to a place of um, groundedness in your center, um, it's very common for the people that you overly give to, when you realize you've been overgiving and you stop, it's very common for them to disappear. And the thing is this, um, were you giving with an expectation? Because um, if you're finding yourself getting to a point where you're noticing people are no longer coming around as much because you're not giving as much, and you're getting upset about that. Well, were you just giving because it felt like the right thing to do, because you wanted to genuinely help? Or did that help come with very cloaked, very hidden strings, where if I give to you, then now you're obligated to me and you have to stay around because I feel like um, whatever's happening, whoever I am, is not enough. It's not enough for you to want to be around me. So now I'm going to overgive. I'm paying you in one way, shape, or form to stay around me, because this is something you have to really analyze within yourself. If you're overly giving and then suddenly when they're not there anymore, you have to tally up how much you've given, and I can't believe I gave so much and they had the nerve to walk away. So then that's not giving, that's payment. That's payment. You are paying them to stay. And that's something, whether they're right or wrong, you have to address within yourself the root causation of why you participated in that, why you allowed it to perpetuate. So we're entering a phase, a very bright phase of our journey, the sun. Um, a lot of the things that deplete us is because we turn away from our own light. Not only do we turn away from our own light, the light that we receive from our higher self, we have a tendency to feel as though we should be ashamed of shining so brightly. And so we give it away. That we can't just exist with that much brightness. That in order for us to be okay with being bright, we have to make sure everyone around us is bright as well. Why is it that we keep trying to disappear, Pisces? Why is that? Why do we not want other people to recognize the gravity of who and what we are? Like, it's so difficult for Pisces to allow ourselves to just shine. We always have to efface. We always have to do this thing where we explain away the greatness of who we are. Okay. So here's the next card. You're coming to a point of your totality. Okay. You're coming back to center. You're coming to a realization that you are indeed whole. You are whole. You don't need to wait for someone else to complete you. You're complete in yourself. If you're waiting for someone else to come and complete you, you're not waiting for them to complete you. You're waiting for them to give you the experience to understand you are completing yourself. Ooh, let that sink in. Let that sink in. Why do you feel the need to have someone else complete you? That's like a snake chasing its own tail, the Ouroboros. That's not just a circle. We have been chasing our own tail. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it's coming to a point where Pisces is going to have to recognize you're centered in your circle of truth. Just be, just exist. Stop trying to explain yourself. Stop trying to gain acceptance and understanding from people who are not able to or not willing to. Because some people might be willing to, but they're not able to. And some people who are able to understand you might not be willing to. And none of that is your business. Your job is to understand yourself. Your job is to recognize what soils your behaviors, your ways of compensating or coping. Where is that rooted? Is it rooted in fear? Is it rooted in programming? Is it rooted in some sense of lacking? You have to find that out for yourself, because the answer for everyone is very, very different. So, Pisces, if you haven't already, well, I kind of feel like this is talking about the past, kind of explaining to you how you got to this point. There was some sort of Three of Swords circumstance, um, whether it was romantic or whether it was you being pulled in so many directions by all the people who rely heavily on you to make their lives more comfortable. And it's not even about addressing need. legitimate need. This is about preference and comfort. That there are many people in the life of a Piscean that seek to pull more from Pisces just because it's their preference, not an actual need. So you've been torn apart. You've been torn to pieces, either by a specific individual or a group of individuals. You've been torn apart, and it's time for you to recognize that pain was taking you somewhere. It was taking you somewhere. It wasn't just felt for no reason. It was taking you to a place within yourself that would grow you. Oops, the next card. You're needing time alone, Pisces. You're needing time alone. And you have to stop being apologetic for not being accessible. Now is the time for you to get real quiet and really deep within yourself and really figure out what is it that I need to see within myself, around me? What am I projecting in my environment? What am I reflecting? What is it? Because many Pisceans don't understand themselves. Many Pisceans are afraid to understand themselves because you've already been so far outside the box that seeing more of your truth gives you a really huge fear that there is no box. The box was an illusion. And if the box is an illusion, who am I really? Because this whole time, Pisceans have been trying to get in the box, trying to fit in, trying to be like other people, not able to celebrate who they are in that moment. And that's hard. That's hard. It's so hard trying to be like other people, not understanding why you don't fit in, not recognizing you serve such a high purpose. And that purpose does not involve fitting in. That purpose is all about sticking out, standing out, being different, living differently, and hopefully, as you allow yourself to publicly experience the journey before you, it will inspire other people to also rise. It was never about carrying people up. That doesn't empower anyone. As a matter of fact, all that does is perpetuate their belief in their lack of worth, lack of ability, lack of power, lack of insight, lack of everything. When you carry someone, it doesn't make them stronger. There are times where people are so hurt and depleted that, you know, it's a loving thing to carry them for a period, to give them some rest, to allow their heart to come back together. But to think that carrying people is your job, uh, is not your job. Your job here in this world, Pisces, is to exist as the black sheep of the family of humanity, and just be, and your refusal to accept that yoke, that contraption that people try and place on you so you can carry more of their load. Your refusal to accept that forces them to carry their load themselves, and that is one of the most loving things you can do, because it's through that challenge, that elevated weight that they have to carry themselves, that they find their true strength. And you have to do this for yourself too, Pisces. You have to allow yourself to face all of these things that have hurt you for your whole life. Like, I have never met another sign that has just hurt so badly for so long and so quietly, and able to put on such an amazing show of like calm and fun and just like, it's all good. Don't worry. I find Piscean saying that too much. You've inconvenienced me, you've hurt me, you've disrespected me, you've made me feel as though I was less than. It's okay. I know you didn't mean to. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's no problem. Tell me, as a Pisces, have you ever said that? Have you ever done that? Have you lived a life where you've never had that type of moment where it's hurting you so much? It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's no problem. It's okay. And you're trying to fight back the tears because you just don't understand. How come people don't love me the way I love all other people? Is it because I'm not enough? Is it because I'm not worth it? I'm not worth that struggle. I'm not worth fighting for? No. It's because not many people have the capacity to love as deeply and profoundly as you do. Not everyone has your heart, Pisces. Not everyone has your heart, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with allowing yourself to witness the things you need to witness, allowing yourself to experience the things you need to experience in this life. It's time for it. A galactic message is coming through. So poop is hitting the fan. Yada, yada, yada. Something about a lion. Yada, yada, yada. Gatekeeper, Stargate, yada, yada. Pisces, you're in the center of it. Okay. So let's see what this message is. I'm a proud weirdo. Yes. Yes, I am. It's not our job to heal anyone. We can't change people, but we can change the way we think. We hurt so much for being sensitive souls. Yep. Yep. We do. We hurt so much because we choose to. We hurt so much thinking taking on the pain of someone else will lessen their pain. In reality, all you've done is pause their process of self healing. You've interfered with their process of introspection. Because, man, it's when you hear that pain, when you feel that pain, that's when you hear within yourself this conversation be initiated. Where I cannot believe I put up with so much of their shit. I cannot believe I put myself in the back and put them in the front. I cannot believe all of the ways in which I love them and they didn't return that love. I cannot believe. You don't have to believe. You're feeling it already. It's fine. Keep having that conversation within yourself. Keep talking to yourself. Keep trying to get that truth to come up. Because sometimes even another Piscean can understand. Do you need them to? No. You'd like them to, but you don't need them to. What you need to understand is yourself. All right. Uh-huh. Ooh, what is going on? Sorry. Ooh. Yikes. Okay. This just told a whole story. Didn't we just say we're not saviors? Okay. Here it is. Card number 54, new consciousness. Pisces, you're bringing in a new consciousness within your personal circles, within your environment, within yourself. You're bringing in a new consciousness, one that is no longer ashamed of being soft, being sensitive, having compassion and grace. This is definitely something important for us to understand. We are leading the charge forward. Okay, Pisces? And you don't have to carry anyone. You don't have to drag anyone. It's not your job to wake anyone up. It's not your job to heal anybody else. It's your job to keep pushing forward and paving the way for the people who follow behind you. Okay. Card number 47, Lemurian era. So this is a call for the feminine to rise back up. Within each of us, we have both masculine and feminine. We have to allow our feminine essence to rise back up. I don't know. I want to say the sign that has the most elevated feminine ways, feminine softness, would be Pisces. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I get this feeling. If I were to pick one sign to be a sign to be the feminine, it would be Pisces. It definitely would be Pisces. Oh, Michael. Do I have to say that? Okay, whatever. Michael said to say that if Pisces is the feminine, who would be the masculine? I'll let you guys guess. Who would be the masculine in this? We're not talking about mother. We're just talking about feminine. You know, the softness, the femininity of it. Um, Ivan says Aquarius. I don't know why. Michael says Scorpio. Michael says Scorpio for some reason. So we're bringing in a new consciousness and we're allowing the feminine to rise up. We're allowing the feminine to rise up, this Piscean energy. And behind that, I guess probably because Pisces would be the airy light one, while Scorpio is traditionally considered the dark, dense one. I don't know. I wasn't thinking Scorpio. I was thinking something else. And then, whatever, Michael. All right. So you can have all the good intentions that you want. Intentions, it's said that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. hmm I think that's true. I think that's definitely true. This road that we take with good intentions, we pave it, it leads us straight to a very oppressive state. Very, very, very oppressed, very, um, it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't matter what your intention is. What matters is your integrity. Okay. And that's because you can have good intentions. Take, for example, a parent and child. Um, the intention was to cultivate a space within myself that that would lead to human defined success. I was groomed to be a medical professional, not just any type, but one of elevated education and training. That's what I was groomed to be my entire life. I can't just be a doctor. I'm told I have to be a surgeon. I can't just be any kind of surgeon. I have to specialize in cardiothoracic. That's a pretty high order to fill. And the intention is good. It's good. Coming from a third world country, you want your child to have a job that is that has job security, that pays very, very well, that has the opportunity to work your ass off and get paid a shit ton of money. And although, yes, I am very medically inclined, yes, I do love learning things about the human anatomy and physiology and all of these beautiful things about the machine that is the human. And that's not my calling. That's not my calling. And because I didn't fulfill that calling for a large portion of my life, I was made to feel by others and by myself. I was made to feel as though I failed. I didn't accomplish anything, that I've wasted time, I've wasted money, and I amounted to nothing. But the intention was good. The intention was definitely good to ensure that I would have um, financial stability and job security. That was a really good intention. You know what I mean? But what did that do? It fractionated me in so many different ways. Am I saying um, that I had a shitty childhood and it was so fucked up and it was like emotional and mental abuse? And I was just, no, I needed to know all of those medical things in order to function in the job that I do now, my true calling. So everything that I went through, despite their good intention, everything that I went through that caused me to collapse within myself, that still at some point when I was ready to see what my true purpose is, those were the building blocks that helped to raise me back up. So it's not your intention, it's your integrity. You have to have integrity. When you see that your words um, will only hurt, because sometimes words can hurt, but that hurt is what leads, that hurt is the impetus to your growth. your accelerated growth, your ascension, your release of old paradigms that have kept you very confined within yourself. Sometimes that's what the hurt does. But other times, if the word you're saying is simply to hurt, that's lack of integrity. You're going to hurt someone just because you know you can, because you're smart enough to be able to, I don't know, cha-cha around their attempts to defend themselves. That's not, that lacks integrity. So the good intentions, you can say whatever you want about good intentions, but be real honest, I've never really seen anything good come of those good intentions. I've seen good intentions do nothing but create so much internal chaos, friction, and challenge that the person had no choice but to rise above. And that was something the person chose, not because another individual had a good intention and that good intention panned out. Okay. So, card number 64, devotion to service. Pisceans are very devoted to their service here on earth. Okay. Many of us know to some degree part of what we're here for. And that devotion to that service is beautiful until we realize that we don't really know what we're here for. So you've committed all of this time and effort into something only for it to not pan out. How does that make you feel? And maybe that devotion to service that led to your disappointment, maybe that was because you made an assumption instead of just devoting yourself to allowing your higher self to guide you through things, to direct where your energy will flow. What if that was what went wrong? You devoted yourself to an expectation without any real basis as to whether this expectation is realistic or even aligned with your purpose. That's a lot to take in. No idea if Pisces are feminine birth and Scorpio are masculine power of death. Possibly. Possibly. I mean, the death card in the tarot deck is Scorpio energy. So potentially. Pisceans. Let me just leave that alone. Card number 24. Self-discipline. You have to discipline yourself. This is one of the fields, one of the areas that Pisces has a tendency to struggle with. We have a very high tendency to not have the discipline to follow through with something. And I'll tell you why. It's not because we're lazy. It's not because we lack direction. It's because once we see that this is going to head nowhere, because we get excited, super excited about things like, oh my God, we're going to do something amazing. Oh my God, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then the reality of it sets in and you follow those strings and you see like, oh shit. I've partnered up with someone that's just not the business. And then we're like, oh, never mind. Psych your mind. Never mind. So let's see. This is a whole story playing out in front of us, guys. Whole story. Card number. So before, hold on. I'm going to ask Bish. Before I start talking shit. Bish, are these cards a storyline about whoever it is that's coming back that keeps telling us is coming back? Okay. Okay. um is whoever's coming back for every person, is that a positive connection or is that a positive connection? No. Okay. Bish. Bish, is this, are these cards about are these cards about a twin connection? No. Are these cards about a doppelganger, a false twin? A false twin. Okay. Are these cards about a false twin? Yes. Ooh, that's what the shit is that hit the fan. It's not the real person. It's not the real energy. Now I don't have to be nice. Now I don't have to be nice. Okay. Card number 33, desperation. Ooh, something is coming back. Apparently, according to Bish, this something is a false twin. Okay. This is someone who, it's a mimic. So many people have been picking up on the fact that there is a lot of focused negative intent on true twin ray connections, because we need those connections in an energetic sense to usher in a different phase of our human development. Okay. And so that's being attacked. They want to try, whoever they are, want to try and continue to perpetuate this phase locked state that we are in. When you are phase locked, you cannot rise in frequency. You cannot reach higher levels of dimensional consciousness. Your higher level of dimensional consciousness, the higher the level of your consciousness evolution. Okay. So they don't want us to evolve. Whoever they are, use your imagination. This is a very desperate attempt by bringing someone to you. Maybe this person was brought to you a long time ago, bringing them back and trying to perpetuate this, like, bleh, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I don't know. For some, that's who's coming back. That's who's coming. That's probably, I mean, aside from my organic level of saltiness and rebelliousness. That might be a huge reason why I keep like, they don't have to be romantic. They don't have to be your friend. Just get whatever lessons you need and kick them to the curb. But for some, it will be the true twin. Okay. The true twin ray. Most people do not have the proper person identified. Most people, okay? I'm not trying to tear anyone down, but most people have identified the wrong person as this divine connection. Most people. So something from your past is coming in on a magic carpet ride with some busted ass flowers trying to woo you in their desperate attempt to continue to perpetuate all of this ugly in this world. Card number 17, pushing the envelope. Oh, they want to write you some letters? You just push that away. No, pushing the envelope. Push yourself beyond what you think you can handle. 100% at 1212. When I say that, Pisces, I'm not encouraging you to put yourself in circumstance that you have no business being in. I'm saying allow yourself to push those boundaries within your mind, within your thoughts. You think you can't handle something, like just thinking about it, processing it, push yourself just a little bit. Push yourself. It's in that pushing, even just a little bit of your boundaries, that you begin to prime your field for actual consciousness expansion. Now, there's a lot of confusion that's going to take place. A lot of confusion. This is an attempt to confuse. This is an attempt to further trigger previous traumas from previous life, early childhood, whatever it is. It's trying to trigger traumas from previous experiences to try and shut you down, shut the truth of the real connection down. And how successful they'll be with that really depends on how stubborn you are with allowing yourself to recognize if you've misidentified the individual. Okay. A lot of us want to take this stance of, no, I know it is. Oh, how do you know? Because I can't stop thinking, well, do they think of you? Because twin pairings are not one way. If I think of you, you're thinking of me. If I feel you, you're feeling me. Do they think of you? Or do they just not give a shit? They just don't give a shit. And you're like, oh, it's because the karmic. They're with the karmic, and they're, someone took them away. I know they don't care. They don't care. That's not your twin. You have to admit that to yourself. If that's the kind of circumstance you're in, that's not your twin. You have to admit that to yourself. Okay. Um, right now we're being we're being encouraged to do holographic healing. But the thing is, it's a holograph to heal. Are you really experiencing healing if what you're addressing is a holograph? Because this life is basically a quasi holograph. Perception of density, perception of an individuated experience. And I mean, what are you talking about? We're all different people. We're all separate. We're allowed to perceive that. The fact is, we come from one consciousness. Well, how can you prove this? Well, if you look at the apartheid filters that are on your auric shield, those are the very things that restrict the incoming information that gives us a sense of individuated experience. If we're not one consciousness, then how are we empathic? Yeah. Empathy is proof of a singular consciousness having an individuated experience. And I mean, you could get all technical with that if you want. I don't really care. This is what I know for myself. Card number 25, alone time. It's time. Oh, what? Michael is such a shit talker. I swear to God. I did not even see this. He says this is me. What an ass. He says that's me sulking in timeout. That's mean, dude. That's mean. There are some of us that are not ready to move forward, and we're going to be allowed to experience separateness. Okay. For some of us, this has been ongoing for quite some time now, and you're just coming to the realization that separateness, the illusion of separation from the truth of that connection, is really just a way for you to get quiet in order to begin processing. And if you haven't utilized this alone time to process things, you're going to have a hard time because things are about to pop off and you're about to have a really hard time. Card number 11, pioneering spirit. That's what you are. You're a pioneering spirit. You are a trailblazer. Pisces, it might not seem like it in a world that's so focused on lower dimensional existence, lower dimensional consciousness. But the fact is, Pisceans, um, many Pisceans, not all, but many Pisceans have the ability to really pave the way to higher levels of understanding and deeper levels of acceptance, self-acceptance, self-understanding. It's definitely something that is difficult to understand and accept about yourself until you're looking back in hindsight. In hindsight, um, this is something that's very obvious, but as you're going through it, not so much. Not so much. It feels like you're just fighting for no reason, that people don't understand you, people don't accept you. Why do I have to be so different? People just don't understand. Well, how do you expect them to understand a road that hasn't been built until you built it? They can't. A lot of the things that used to frustrate me years ago. Why won't people listen? Oh my God, they think I'm crazy. They think I'm just, lost my mind because I'm talking about all this shit. Well, guess what? Mm, hmm All this shit is happening now. Do I need to say that? Oh, I was right. I told you guys. No, it's only in hindsight that people will see, people will understand what it was you were talking about, what it was you were experiencing. That doesn't make them any less. It doesn't mean they're going out of their way to tear you down, Pisces. What it means is you're allowing your perception, your interpretation of their lack of understanding to really fuck with your sense of self worth. And that's not their fault. It's no one's fault. It's something that just needs to be addressed. That's why I keep saying you don't need people to understand you in order for you to continue. Because oftentimes our need for other people to understand is really nothing but a distraction because we are insecure in ourselves. We don't trust our gut. We don't trust the messages. And so we need other people to validate this. How are they going to validate something that is so far advanced of what they are able to understand? They can't. They can't. They just can't. You can't expect caterpillar people to speak butterfly language. It's just how it is. Eventually, they do understand. Eventually. And some of them come back and try and speak to you and have this like very deep conversation. And then you can have that conversation because it might have took 20 years, but now they're ready. Now they're ready. So have that conversation. I literally have been having conversations with people who I told things to 20 years ago, and they were like, girl, oh no, that's kind of crazy. That's just never going to happen. I was like, all right. I threw my hands up. All right. I think I'm just crazy. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. And I left it alone. Just because you're told something in advance doesn't mean you're supposed to tell everyone else. It just doesn't. It means you need this information for a specific reason, something that involves your personal journey. So just allow yourself to see what that is. A lot of times when we get information in advance, we think that it has to do with saving humanity. Humanity is a group of sovereign souls. It's comprised of so many sovereign souls. You cannot override the will of another sovereign. They don't need to be saved. They need to be allowed to experience whatever experiences will lead them to their growth, will serve as the impetus for a process that oftentimes is very difficult for people, but is so absolutely necessary. We are not here to save humanity. We are not here to save other people. We're not. And honestly, if you can't release this need to feel as though you're here to save, you're here to save others, you're a savior, um, you have to look deeply into why you are avoiding healing yourself. That's some harsh stuff to hear. Harsh reality. Oftentimes, the people who are so busy trying to focus on saving other people are the very people who need the most saving. And it's so scary to actually address your own wounds. So instead, you take a look at it, you bandage it back up, and you say, I'm healed. I'm now ready to heal people. Hey, if you can't admit to yourself that you're not yet healed, I don't know how healed you think you are. And oftentimes it's in our process of healing ourselves, letting other people witness our self healing, that you empower them to heal themselves. That's how it's supposed to work. By just living your truth, allowing yourself to be seen in a process of healing. I've been allowing my process of healing to be documented through live streams for how many years now? I don't know that I'm any further than where I was when I began. But I do know part of my purpose here on this earth is to allow other people to see me in my process, my organic, authentic, rough and raw process of finding my way back to me. There's no shame in that. There's no guilt in that. There's no sense of failure in that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There's empowerment instead of shame. There's a lot of recognition of what you need to recognize within yourself, not recognition from other people, but recognition within yourself. The shitstorm that's been brewing is really to help us find the pieces of us that were lost. Through our journey up to this point, we have to find our pieces. And hey, that metaphorical shit is hitting that metaphorical fan. What happens when a shit hits the fan? When a turd, oh, is it fresh? A fresh turd, nice and soft but firm. That's so gross. It cuts it up. When it hits the fan, it cuts it up and it flings it everywhere. And the fan, you could say that you're the shit and the fan is life. It's cut you up, it's fractionated you and flung your pieces all over the place. And the people who don't understand the gravity of who you are and what you're here for, hey, they'll categorize you as shit. Oh, you were just a piece of shit? Well, I like to see myself as shit fermenting, therefore transmuting into fertilizer. I'm here to grow you, motherfucker. I'm just saying. People want to say you're a shit. I'm the shit, here to grow you. Let me ferment for a little bit. And I think that's what's been going on for Pisces for a little while. We've been allowing ourselves unknowingly to ferment, because you can't just start throwing caca everywhere. It has to be processed in some way. It has to be processed in some way, just like your life has to be processed in some way. There is richness in your decay, tremendous amounts of richness in your decay, in your breaking down of the things that no longer serve, the things that are no longer in alignment with you, yourself, your soul. Um, all of that, if you just let it all fall down, you have the pieces to rebuild something beautiful, something that is custom built, something that fits all your needs for now as well as through your growth. I mean, that's some shit. That's some shit. Allow yourself the freedom to go through this process, okay? No, Michael, I'm done. He goes, pick another. No, we're not picking another card. We're done. We're done. So, you guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. And give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to have enough grace and compassion for yourself as you figure out who you actually are. This is not something you're going to find out in one day, 1 month, 1 year. This is going to be a lifelong journey of you trying to find your way back to yourself. Make it an adventure, make it something fun, make it something that as you take your last breath, there's no regrets. There's just this feeling of, man, that was one crazy ride. That was one crazy fucking ride. Hey, end this life with a smile. End this life knowing you experienced everything you needed to. And just love yourself. So, thank you guys. Bye.